Hi guys, I'm Tim,
And I'm M.
and together we're
Tim and M.
Tim and M. So on today's episode, we want to talk about our first experience going out in Los Angeles while living here.
Yep.
It's important to note that you should reference last episode we did where we talked about our sublet situation because
For a month.
this was immediately right after that. We was in July. We had just moved into this new apartment. We were
In
here
June.
for in June. So we were just moved in and everything, just settled down. And mentally, I had just gotten a new job, was like starting to get in the groove of things a little bit, was starting to make some kind of money. Still had some in my savings, was like not, too bad off at the moment. So I was like, okay, I could afford to go out. If we were to come up with something, we could do it.
Yeah, and like you were mentioning earlier, I was itching to go out. Because I was like, we're in fucking LA now. Like
And we
we
were
just
both-
traveled halfway across the country.
We both really wanted to do it, but Emily especially was very, very excited.
Yes, and also because everyone kept talking about WeHo, which if you're not from California,
If you don't know,
it's West Hollywood.
it's like right off the 101.
California. Yeah, and I really wanted to go check out WeHo West Hollywood because everyone was talking about the gay bars specifically. They're like, you specifically would have a blast there, but also like it's an amazing place. There's so many places to go. And so many things to do, and just, I don't know, it's wild. They were like, it's nothing like you've probably ever seen before.
It's a neat little area.
We're from New Orleans, so that's tough to beat.
That's my thing, and that was my whole thing going in initially, was just, I had a lot of apprehensions because of the fact we came here from New Orleans. I got to experience nightlife out there after graduating high school, moving directly down to New Orleans from DeRidder, and going there for college and everything. I got to really party. I got to party pretty hardy. So,
But anyway, yeah, so all of that to say we were ready to go out. And there was someone in particular, someone from work at the time mentioned to me like, oh, like I have a girlfriend I could take with me. Why don't you and Tim come out with us one night? And I was like, I thought I could.
Oh, we're talking about two different nights then. Because...
The coworker was like, we could double date in a way. She knew me and Tim.
But the four of us could go together. We could go to the gay bar together, which would be our outing
Correct.
and our
We had an excuse.
and our
Was it the
foothold
first
into
time?
going out.
That must have been the first time.
Officially going out with a couple was anyone else, literally anyone else.
Yeah.
Because the other night, homegirl didn't show up. She didn't show up until later on in the night, and we'd already left. Remember?
What night was that?
The other thing we're going to talk about that we did talk about.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yes. Okay. So anyway.
Having friends and going out and getting to actually see the gay bar. So that was fun.
So yeah.
We went to the Abbey. We went to the Chapel.
Yes.
The two bars that are on this one particular corner. It's like the biggest
That's what
ones that are out
everyone
there.
goes nuts over. Mhm.
You can Google it if you've never heard of it. We had never heard of it before even coming out here, honestly.
And it looked cool.
But it was pretty neat. There's a lot of open air about it, which is really neat.
Yeah.
It's not very like claustrophobic in that sense. Even with a lot of people there, it was still very like open air.
Yeah.
Because the way it's structurally made. So it was nice. It was cool.
So picture it.
There's people lining the
Me?
walls.
And this girl from work that I thought I was going to try to weasel my way in to what she said wasn't a relationship, but never mind you. I thought I was going to weasel in. So it was me and this girl from work I was excited about. We won't say who. And then Tim. So obviously we knew we were going to stick together, unlike the other time that we didn't stick together.
But in this time, we knew we were fine because we were going out, the four of us together. Because the other two were an actual physical couple. They had been dating for a minute, even though...
A month.
The girl was like, well, there you go. They had been dating for a month. It was...
A month?
It was apparently a bit of a, like, oh, I'm into her, but I'm kind of into you as well.
Right.
So
we were like,
what are we going to do about
Let's
this?
go to a club and find out what happens when we meet on the dance floor. And then Then we were surprised to find out what was the rule about going in and getting stamped.
Oh my God.
Even if you left.
So the way the setup is that they have an entrance line in order to let you get into the bar because they have to count how many people are in there. They have a max capacity and they cannot breach that.
And make sure you're 21.
And it makes sense. You know, they have to check IDs for every person. They have to make sure they don't go over capacity, which it all makes sense. But what's weird to me though was that at the other bars in New Orleans, when you get stamped after leaving, so you wait in line, you get up to the bar, or to the entrance, I should say. Give them your ID, you prove who you are, you get a stamp. The stamp says you have now entered the bar, you've paid whatever fees you have to enter, and then you could re-enter later without paying any fees again. But it was pissing me off because we had left the bar like twice in a row.
He was very worked
And
up.
it was only because the coworker had like, oh God, what was it now?
People are known for standing you up out here and for just being obnoxiously late with never a real reason of why that happened in an apology. So in both of these scenarios we're telling you about, the person was late and we were like already ready to be like, goodbye. We're done.
But
so
at one point we're in the bar together and the two of them are like, oh, we have to step outside real quick for something. Why don't you come with us? Let's run outside and we'll come back in. And we're like, okay, sure, not knowing about how the line thing works. Yeah. So maybe it was just a cigarette, whatever. So we step outside. We go all the way through the exit and everything. We get out there. She does the thing, and then we go back and wait in line, which was another like probably 5-10 minutes maybe we were waiting. And the line is growing as we're standing there too. So this is like it was a busy-ish night. You know what I mean? It's middle of the summer. People are visiting. People are there. They're there to party.
It was a Friday night.
It's a Friday night. So of course it's like, you know, popping and everything. But here we go. Inside again after waiting in line, and then another, like, I feel like maybe it wasn't that long, maybe it was a while, maybe it'd been like an hour later or something, maybe that's when all the shit went down and then we left again and then we went trying to go back inside and that's what pissed me off.
I don't know,
but whatever happened. So at one point
there was a string of events.
We go to the dance floor and it's our first time out. So the coworker, we'll just call her the coworker. She comes up. She's like, "Oh, Tim, you know, it's your first night out and everything. Let's get you a lap dance. We're at a gay bar. There's a bunch of gay guys on top of stands over here, and nothing but a Speedo and their fucking tennis shoes and socks. You should have a dance. You should have a lap dance." So, oh my God, it was so awkward the way this was too, because like I'm like 5'10". I'm taller than average person. I'm standing there and there's like a pedestal that's in front of me that's almost up to like my chest. It's like so tall. The dude's feet are like right here and he is up this height. She pushes me into him, puts cash like in my chest.
And I don't know what to do. I'm just like, try it.
This girl came up with cash she had withdrawn, puts the money in my chest, like in my shirt, stuffs it there. Gives me like another amount, I think, puts it in my mouth at the same time too, and then like turns me around and pushes me towards where the guy is standing. So in the moment that I'm taking in what's happening here, mind you, I've now just been given something in my mouth, put something in my shirt, turned, and then been forced forward, looking at like shoes of like this dude dancing. And yeah, of course he's hot, but I'm
like a great time.
Hello? What just happened? Why am I here?
He was pissed.
I was so
furious,
not feeling it. I was not into it. But here the guy comes. I have to talk about this though, because he's dancing, and the move he had to do in order to lean down and pick the money out of my chest with his mouth. Oh yeah, there we go. This is the money. So he's like literally, he was standing up here, mind you, and he's like. I'm like, can you just take the money, please? I literally at one point I just like handed it to him. I think I may have like stuffed into his shoes since it was closed.
No, into his
sock or something, or maybe it was his underwear.
Think it was the side though. You were very careful about placement. You were trying to be like, I don't actually.
I'm not trying to I was not trying to show interest or whatever. Just trying to like give him the cash because you know, good for you for dancing and keeping that body tight. You look great, but sir, I don't want any of this. I'm ready to go.
I think he saw that too.
Oh God, it was just so awkward. So finally, we step away from the whole situation with that. And then poor Emily's like, I have to use the bathroom. And the girlfriend was like, oh, me too. So the two of them disappear and they go to the bathroom. I'm then left with the coworker for a minute. And we just kind of chat.
The one that I wanted to have a thing with.
Mind you. And she goes, "What's your type?" And I tell her, and I give her like kind of a specific almost
That's
example.
Why you were so mad too.
And like one thing for me too is height. A lot of times, I kind of prefer a little bit of height on a dude, someone who's 6 foot or more. Tell me how. Later on in the night, we're dancing in the middle of this other club in this like really crowded area, and here's this like short little dude, and she just shoves me into him. I guess maybe because he had given me a look maybe when I wasn't paying attention or something, and she just like, oh, there we go. But I'm like, I told you what it was I was interested in, and here you are, physically pushing me into someone who does not match that description. Like, what are you?
I'm sorry, Tim. So he was not happy with me.
It was an interesting night. She was an interesting person to party with.
Yeah, that was a wild night. Mm-hmm. And so then he never wanted to go out with me. And I can't remember now if this happened before that. Yeah, so anyway, I can't remember if the salsa dancing happened before that.
It had to have been the salsa dancing first. It had to have been.
The thing is, both events took place in July.
Sure, yeah.
But, so I heard from a friend of mine that there was free salsa dancing classes at a hotel called the Sofitel. I think it's still going on, except for now because we're in quarantine. But on Wednesdays nights at 9, they have free salsa dancing lessons. Well, I moved out here mainly to pursue dance, and
me, I have no rhythm whatsoever. So we got there.
It was very interesting. It was beautiful.
We got there, and it was a really pretty
we could tell
hotel.
It was because it was in Beverly Hills, and so yeah, we pop up in this bar. We understood that half of the bar was going to be a bar and half of it was going to be a dance floor, which it was.
So we show up like maybe 20 minutes before the thing's supposed to start at 9 o'clock is what it was listed as.
No one's there. We were the first ones.
It's like 8:57, and I think the guy finally shows up, and he like starts to kind of get set up, and people like couples are starting to show up and things like that. And then the guy starts talking, and he explains that we're going to be switching partners, and that this is like this is a whole thing. I really don't remember the details anymore.
Well, he didn't say it yet. He started the lesson. He was like, grab your partner. Do-si-do.
Like, let's get up in line and everything. And he goes, like, we're going to start doing the dance moves. So with our partner, he's like, let's show, like, here are the moves. Like, he shows us a few moves. Yeah. We pick them up. We start going through them. And
then he makes the connection with me because he noticed that I was responding, for one, because please always respond if your teacher asks you a fucking question. I don't care what you're doing.
I'm over here like...
respectful. And I'm the only one responding. And 2, I have dance experience. I don't know what everybody else looked like. But obviously, he just looked at me and he was like, are we ready to move on? I was like, yes. So he's like, okay, switch partners. That's when you looked at me like...
I looked at you with like a deer in the headlights. Like, what... I said, where are you going? Because you really started to take a few steps. And the look you gave me was like, I guess this is a thing. And I'm like, Emily, you don't have to. And it happened in such a split moment, such a split second, that I didn't have the opportunity to really like say anything to her. But
I didn't want to.
As soon as she steps away, here comes this next woman.
Comes this middle-aged woman.
I want to tell you, this poor lady looked at me like, oh, hello, handsome.
Ready.
And I'm like, oh, ma'am, I'm so sorry.
Where'd you come from, tall boy?
Oh, my God. It was like 2 of them in a row. Like two of them in a row at least really thought something like, ooh, maybe he's just one of those like metrosexuals. He's just like... really into himself, but like he's attractive. He'd make for good babies. They were older than me. I was very much like lady number 1. I'm sorry, wrong tree. Number 2, ma'am. Could be my mom.
Oh no. And meanwhile, I had weird people too, though.
Oh my God. Yeah. What were your guys like? I had
tiniest hands in the world. Very awkward. And then the one that like was just so. Like overly so uncoordinated. I don't know if that makes sense, but like
that's what was bad. Though,
I was horrible.
On top of me embarrassing myself in front of these women because I was obviously not there as a straight singles couple or singles person trying to meet someone.
Yeah, we were just trying to see what it was all about?
We thought, I don't know. We were never told it was a singles meet and greet kind of thing.
Wait, was it Joey Fatone?
No. It was,
no, it was someone else.
One of the guys from the Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah,
or something
Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the main dancers, the male dancers that is on Dancing with the Stars, was there, like just fooling around in the back with two women he brought, of course. And then
it was on this like patio thing that was outside.
Yeah.
But during the whole event thing, it was very awkward, very interesting.
Very awkward.
Eventually, it ended. Came to a close. Everyone applauded. Everyone around, whatever. And
it was an hour.
I like look over at Emily and I'm like, oh my god, how much longer are we here for? Because like I'm ready to go. We kind of like stepped a few steps away from the dance floor. And I think we were both looking at our phones for a second because we hadn't really had much of a chance to. And here comes this weirdo.
Yeah, it was as we were clearing the dance floor.
Here comes this weirdo, like shorter than me. Like
this man
I feel like
straight out like
hair.
Of a Britney Spears music video.
He had like a hat on of some kind.
He saunters in,
and it was like pajama pants, or no, like harem pants,
striped.
wasn't it? Wasn't it like harem pants, or was it like a straight up skirt? Or like a kilt or some shit.
Oh, no. It was pants, but they were tight as fuck. They were like Britney Spears would have worn them.
I thought they were flare or something.
No, what they had was tassels. They were like almost cowboy boots.
They had the pants had tassels.
And he had his sunglasses on indoors. And usually when people do that, like they must be
big old
someone,
aviators.
or they
just
must
like,
think they're someone.
I'm covering my eyes because you can't know who I am.
Flipped out hair, like Bon Jovi hair. And like a blue jean jacket, very tight again. Okay, so it's like I'm thinking this is a gay man. He reeked of cologne, strong cologne. So I'm thinking this is a gay man that for some reason is. I just thought that he was somebody because when he introduced, he was just like
the way that it happened though. He came up to her and immediately whispered something into her ear. And then from my experience, from what I saw from that, was he walked up to her, whispered something in her ear. She looked over at me like,
I don't know what to do.
I guess. And then handed me her purse.
Oh,
and was like,
perspective. Okay. This is his perspective. Yeah.
I guess like, here you go. And I'm like, is this what you want? Are you
and
sure?
I was like
the look that I gave her was literally like, are you sure about this? Is this really what you want?
I was rolling with it because I thought he was someone, and the reason I thought he was someone was because when he sauntered up to me and whispered in my ear, he said he was like, "You are so beautiful, blah blah blah. Won't you dance with me? I'm whatever." He said his name. Well, his name was one of the ones that right before the salsa dancing
wasn't that the
started,
second thing he said to you?
No, that was the first.
Okay. He like leaned over, looked at her, and I kind of he didn't grab your purse necessarily, but he definitely like kind of touched it a little bit or like patted to it.
Yeah.
And had said, "Can we move this? It'll hit my balls if we dance."
And that's when I was like, I gave him my purse.
Can we move this?
I was like, I guess
it'll hit my balls if we dance. And Emily goes, "Sure, here's my purse, Tim." Oh shit, did that spill out? Are you okay? And lights on.
Hello. Now that you can see us. So we were saying that he came over to me and said, "Can you move my purse? Because otherwise it's going to hit my balls." And then I was like, okay. And I gave Tim my purse reluctantly. And so we began our lesson. He basically decided that he was going to try to give me a lesson and ask me random questions. Like, I don't even remember what he asked me. I think he said, like, "Were you my boyfriend?" And then I should have said yes. But I didn't know. I'm horrible.
Oh, no, mister.
I'm horrible.
He's just my roommate. Oh, yeah, we moved here together. Yeah? You got more? What? Oh, yeah, let me tell you. That's my social. You ready?
Well, fast forward. I somehow separate from him because I'm like, he's like trying to dip me and trying to do all these complicated moves I've never done. I'm not that great at salsa dancing. And then he's trying to give me a lesson and then act like he's asking me questions. And I'm just looking over at Tim, who's like kind of looking down at his phone. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do right now.
So we went out to the patio. That's when you saw the dancer from the Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
And sure
and
enough,
I wanted to approach him too.
Sure enough, the creepy guy like followed us out there at one point too. We're sitting out there for a minute, just kind of chatting and hanging out, getting some fresh air.
Yes, and I happen to look in the window and I see him scurrying about, looking all around, because the last place he left me was with you against
coming
a
up
column.
to the bar to where the other section of the other bar was, like trying to come around. Like
he started scurrying around, and then remember he came out and he was behind me, and you were like, "Don't turn around." Because Tim was facing me like this. I was looking at Tim, and then he came up from back here. I think I didn't shave my armpits, so hopefully I don't have to blur that. But
anyway.
But he came around the back, and Tim was like, "Don't turn around." And I was like, "Is he behind me?" And he was like, "Yes, just keep talking to me. Everything's normal." And we're like, "Okay." And then this is so pretty and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, looking. Didn't you say he made eye contact with you and gave you a death glare?
I think he was kind of staring. I don't think it was a full-on death glare, though. I don't think I remember, like, describing it like that. But I remember him, like, standing around. He looked over, and then he, like, saw us standing there talking, and then locked eyes with me for a second, and then was like, all right, clearly, like, there's nothing there or whatever, I guess. But only because I was there to, like, be a masculine figure to, like, scare off this other, like, dude who was trying to come on to her.
But was he? I still don't know. He was so weird.
Or at the very least, like, approach you about something. Like, we don't know what about. I mean, maybe it could have been like, "Oh, I have a job for you," or whatever. But the job probably could have been, you know.
Yeah. I don't know.
It was not attractive.
We never knew. My friend took forever and a day to show up.
And she eventually texted, was like, "Hey, I'm on my way." Yeah. Or no, I just got in the shower. I just got out of the shower, got in the car.
Yeah.
So the, like, Uber ride for her was going to be like a solid 35 to 40 minutes or something. And we're like, we're already ready to go.
Yeah. We were like, we've had our experience. So we're done. There's a creep here. I have a messed up stomach. He's sick. We got to go. And and we haven't been out since. That's not true. I've gone out quite a lot.
We've both gone out. Unfortunately, not together as much as we wanted to.
We haven't gone out together since then.
Please like and subscribe and comment.
Yeah, like, subscribe, follow, comment if you feel like it.
And what's next episode? What are we talking about next time?
I don't know. You're the brains behind this. We'll think about it. Tune in for next time.
We'll tune in for next time.
We're going to tell you more about LA and what it's like to live here. We're both going to start posting some of our own videos, too.
Yes,
we're going to play around with this now that we have 30 more days of quarantine.
Makeup and hair tutorials, respectively, and as well as together, because she does hair as well. I don't do makeup, but
I don't really do hair, but okay.
Maybe we'll try a blind test one day, and I'll play with that.
Maybe so.
I get to paint you and see what happens.
Simon said we should ask each other rapid fire questions back and forth.
Oh, that would be fun.
Things about LA, things we hate, things we love, things we crave, things we want to eat. Which for me is every taco truck ever.
Yeah, that's fair. From LA to LA, I'm Tim.
And I'm M.
And together we're
Tim and M.